Hi, in this video we're going to have a look at linear functions as models. So we're going to be given a question with a graph and we have to interpret some of the questions from the graph. So here we go. Paul is a Foxtel salesperson. He earns a base weekly income and is paid commission on each Foxtel package he sells. Paul's weekly income I, that we can see here on the y-axis, here's our I, depends on the number n of Foxtel packages he sells in that week. Okay, so during a week he works, he gets a base weekly income, also known as a retainer. That's what you get no matter how many Foxtel packages you sell. But then also he gets a commission. He gets a certain amount of money per Foxtel package he sells. Let's jump straight into the questions. What is Paul's base weekly income? Okay, this is what is the initial amount before he even starts selling Foxtel packages. Well, let's have a look. I want to know when there's 0 packages sold, which is right here. Let's go up. We're looking at this amount here, right on the y-axis. That is at 300. Okay, so here's base weekly income, or that retainer is $300. So before he even sells any packages, he gets 300. Part B. What is Paul's weekly income if he sells 8 Foxtel packages? Well, we know number of packages is on the x-axis, so let's go over here to 8. From 8, get your ruler, okay, or go up. There is already a line drawn there for you. You go up, hits the blue line there. From that point, we go across on that line. There we go. It is at 700. Okay, I'll just get the highlighter there. $700. Okay, so for 8 Foxtel packages, he gets $700. Let's have a look at part C. How many Foxtel packages does Paul need to sell to earn $800 for the week? So in this case, they've said, well, if you start with 800, I'll just highlight that here. If you start with 800, how many Foxtel packages do you need to sell? Well, let's do the same thing. It's just the opposite way. We go across there, hits the line there. We get our ruler and now go down as neat as we can. And there we go. It is 10 Foxtel packages. Part D, find the equation of the straight line in terms of I and N. Okay, let's have a think about this. Now, an equation of a straight line has to be in the form y equals mx plus b. And the only two things we need to know are m, the gradient, and b, the y-intercept. So let's go find those two things. Let's start with the y-intercept. That's nice and easy. Where does it cut the y-axis? It cuts the y-axis right there at 300. Gradient. Alright, gradient equals rise over run. So we need to make a right-angled triangle on this graph. So I'm going to just get a different color here. I'm going to make a right-angled triangle. I'm picking there just because it goes through that point there quite nicely. And I can make myself a right-angled triangle. What is this rise? Well, this has gone up 1, 2, 3. But how much does one little box represent? It represents 100. So that's going up from 300 all the way up to 600. So that was 300. The run is going from 0 all the way to 6. So I'll just put it in red here. Rise over run equals 300 over 6. 300 divided by 6, we get 50. So, therefore, y equals m was 50, x, b was 300. Y equals 50x plus 300. However, this question said in terms of I and n. Well, let's just replace y. What's on the y-axis? Is I or n on the y-axis? I, income, is on the y-axis, so that is I equals 50. The x-axis is the number of packages, n. I equals 50n plus 300. There's our equation. Part E. How much does Paul earn for each package sold? Let's have a think about this. After one package, how much does it go up by? Well, it's about halfway up there, from 300 to 400. But I can clearly see after two packages, it's gone up from 300 to 400. So every two packages you get 100. 100 divided by 2 is $50. But where else have we seen 50? Right here. The gradient, okay? The gradient equals 50. The gradient represents, okay, the change for each unit, okay, for each package, okay? For every one package sold, it's going up by 50 each time. Okay, so here, how much does Paul earn for each package sold? It is $50, and we can say this is the gradient too. Just a side note, because sometimes we do come across those questions where they want to know how much per one thing sold, and that's represented by the gradient. This is the gradient. That's it for this video. Well done.